On this flight up, I go up with a pilot who 3D printed both of his planes. One of them is a World War II German warplane, Focke, if I'm saying it correctly. The other is a Navy plane. Now, he said the name several times, but yet I managed to still not write it down or remember it. Yes, this is not good.
"3D printed. 3D printed. Finally, somebody with some technical expertise. You 3D printed the pilots too?
Everything's 3D.
Where's the camera mount?
Well, that was going to be on the next one. So the next one we're going to put it back in here.
Take him out.
Yeah, so I have 3 more, and 1 will be.
Is the canopy one piece?
Yes.
It's not part of the plane?
It is not.
Oh, so good. You only have to 3D print a canopy with a camera in it.
I got the display, and then I got the Bible.
Ah, perfect. Perfect. You know what camera system you're going to put in it?
No, not yet.
If you go with an analog, you'll have less heat buildup. If you go with a digital, you're going to have a lot of heat. If the camera overheats, it will shut down. Especially the DJI 03, which is the best digital camera, one of the best digital cameras on the market. It'll like if I got it in my drone. If I sit my drone and turn it on, it automatically turns on in low power, and it gets hot as. So you need ventilation.
It does beautiful rolls. This was this plane's maiden, if I'm not mistaken. This plane has significance because the pilot says that his father actually flew and trained on this plane, and it had a very interesting story, as most of these models do. I think what I might start to do, if I do this more often, is have the actual pilots do a vocal. Because they tell their stories much better than my adult mind. And I do think that these works that they're doing deserve to have some kind of recording somewhere, somehow. So yeah, I think I will start to do that and let the pilots tell you the stories in their own words. It's not like I don't have the equipment to do it. I'm just gonna have to start doing that and bump up my professionalism just one more notch. Beautiful plane, flew on rails. For this German warplane, typically I used to not really like it. I've seen it before in World War II movies, but I didn't really start to love chasing it until, of course, I flew with Redbeard, and he'll make you like every plane. And I was just so amazed at how it looked. In the goggles, for me, it's like watching TV. And in the goggles, this is a great program of aerial fighting, and you can imagine dog fighting as you're chasing it. And it was just so nice to me. And it could have been the color scheme. I like the woodland camouflage much better. But the pilot of this one was telling me that the 3D files he got they could twerk them a little. It was loose, so he's commenting on how it kind of wavered up and down just a little. And I didn't see it as that bad, but it is different from his other model. So I did see that. But to see this plane, especially in large scale, it is just stunning in the way it looks. And to think that you get the files, you can print them up, and if you have any expertise, you can tweak the measurements here and there to make his control surfaces a little bit more refined, so you can make improvements on a model that's already been designed when you learn how to 3D print. And from what I hear from my other buddies who do 3D printing, it's not overly hard to learn. But this was this plane's maiden. He was worried. He flew great. Tell him in the comments. If he sees it, it'll inspire him to keep going, make the modifications, and just get it nailed down even more than it already is. And again, I can't thank the club members of the field and the visitors to the field. They were very welcoming. I felt very at home filming them. And I got lots of compliments on my skill. And I just, inside of myself, I'm kicking my other self, because if they thought that was good, if they could have seen what I could do in manual, and then they could have increased their flight envelopes, because some of them actually flew slower just for me, which was like, I'm so overwhelmed by that, because you risk the plane when you fly slower. But I just wish I could have shown them what it's like for me to chase them in manual and for them to be their natural selves. Fortunately, their natural selves are pretty damn stable. But I know in each one of them, you can see their fingers on the controllers just twitching, kind of like in this landing. They would open up, not cut totally wild and loose. They're not Redbeards. There's only one Redbeard, but I'm sure they can put on a show, and I'm quite sure they do put on a show. All of the pilots, I really do thank them for bearing with my limitation. And the only limitation is that DJI drones are aware, so it just wouldn't let me go into manual, and it wouldn't let me go over a certain height. Those are the rules we have to play by. I had a great time. This is a great pilot.